this truck, I ain't no stranger. I know that truck, that's a Ford fucking Ranger. My miles per gallon ain't in no danger. Why? Because I drive a fucking Ford Ranger. Hey little baby, shake your money maker. Why? Because I drive a fucking Ford Ranger.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the garage. This is a 2003 Ford Ranger
Ford Ranger.
with a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder. It's a rear-wheel drive manual transmission. This truck was a thief magnet. The previous owner told me that a lot of things were stolen. Last time that they tried to steal something, or that they did steal something, was the catalytic converter, the stereo, and the battery. You don't see that often, but they broke inside through the passenger side key cylinder here. They just pushed it in and then got inside, got the stereo, ripped the stereo off, opened the hood, took the battery, and they cut the terminals and just took the battery, and then got underneath and took the catalytic converter. Anyway, I got a good deal on this truck, and it's not too bad, especially the bed side here. Not too much rust. Most of the rust is underneath, but it's not as bad as I've seen, especially for a winter truck or a Midwest truck. I saw the Carfax on it, and it's always been an Indianapolis truck. So the previous owner also said that he's done some rust treatments since he had it. I think he had it since 2019. And then the previous owner before him, which was the one that had it from new, bought it new in 2003. I'm not too sure about how was the treatment then, but I could tell that it's been good, because there's no rust on the hood. Especially rust starts over here in the ledge of the hood. The truck bed, or the truck bed side, there's no rust on it. Cap corners are good also. I think that's about it. I got a good deal on it, and the previous owner was nice enough to already purchase all the parts needed. So he did purchase a replacement catalytic converter. He purchased the battery. He went to the junkyard and got a harness for the battery. Funny thing is that they whoever stole the battery, they just cut the terminals and took the battery with them. Okay, so let's bring it inside. It's like 23 degrees right now, right here. It's super cold. So let's bring it inside and work. Let's do some work on this truck, shall we? My first Ranger was a 2001 regular cab, white in color, with a 3.0 automatic transmission. And then I traded that one in for a 2006. Now the 2006 was black, and it was XL with a 3.0 automatic transmission, but it was the extended cab. And then I sold that one when I joined the military, and it was around the same time I purchased the Crown Vic, which is 2011 or so. So this now, it's my third Ranger. So 2003, and it's some work, but it's not a lot of work. And like I said, the previous owner was nice enough to already purchase all the needed parts. Today, the plan is to do the harness and the catalytic converter and get it started. And then from there, we'll do an inspection and see what we find. Okay, so here we have two harnesses. This one here was the owner's. He found it at a junkyard. The problem is that this one does not match the one on the truck. I think this one's for a 3.0, and it's very similar, but some things are different. So what I'm going to do basically is going to cut the cables for the terminals, and I'm gonna put them over here. Put that one there, and then fix the negative here. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it right here. So I'm gonna use some of this battery cleaner to clean these. They're not horrible. They are not horrible, but they're dirty. This one's the worst one. Okay, here we go. So here they are all soaked. We'll see the difference if there's any. Okay, so I cleaned up the cables here. This is negative. They're cleaned up. Basically, this is the negative that was in here, that was connected to here. It looked like they started cutting this cable, then realized that the terminal was loose, and so they stopped cutting it, and then but they cut the small cable that goes to the body, and then over here they kind of half-assed cut the bigger cable because it's bigger and it's harder to cut, and then the small one they did do a clean cut there. Anyway, I'm gonna strip this. The two positive cables, and same for the negative real quick now. Okay, so we got the harness side wire stripped. Same over here. So now we have to clean these with a wire brush, clean them better, and then we gotta wire strip this side, put it to the negative, and then these two, and you splice them together, and that should do it. Okay, so the terminals are clean, but there's a little bit of rust, especially in the negative right here. So I'm going to try this Loctite Naval Jelly Rust Dissolver and see how it would work removing this rust right here. So this one has very little, so this stuff shouldn't have any problem removing any of that rust. Let's do here too. Well, there's not too much rust there. All right, so 5-10 minutes, and we'll go 5-10 minutes, and we'll go rinse it off with water and see the results. Okay, so this little cable here, I think it goes to the starter. It just came off from here. So I'm gonna splice this together real quick. Cut it right here. And then let's strip this a little bit. Okay, it's not pretty, but it's strong. So let's now slide the shrink tubing on it, and then let's shrink it. Okay, I think it's pretty good. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so here are the terminals. I think they came out pretty good. Well, there's no rust on them, so that's good. And then here's the negative. They came out pretty good. Now we just have to strip these wires and then splice them together to the harness. Okay, so update on the terminals. They're spliced together. This one's a bit bulgy because I put too much tape. But I end up using these here, and this is what I'm going to use for the negative there. So now I just got to do the negative here. Got to strip this wire and then connect it to here, and that should be it for the harness. Okay, so this is pretty much how I'm going to do this. I already put solder in there, and this is already rock solid, so this is not gonna go. I'm pulling really hard, it's not gonna go anywhere. So it's solder in there. So now what we have to do is connect this. So this goes like this. So we'll go like this. This needs to connect here, like so. Okay, the battery harness is in. Here is the negative, here is the positive. So this is the junction right here. This cable goes to the fuse box and goes down. Goes down there. You gotta put this nut on.
Okay, so from the driver's side wheel well, here's the harness for the battery. It comes down from that junction, comes down here, it bolts on to the control arm bracket right here, and then it bolts onto the engine there, and then you have the cables to the starter right here. I already put them on, I just got to put the nuts on. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, under the truck here, driver's side. Go on this side here, here's the starter. And the harness keeps going, so it bolts onto here. There's a ground underneath, right here. And then this plug, this is for the oil. There we go, oil pressure, I believe. And then it goes over the transmission. I couldn't film those things because it was a pain in the ass to do that, and I wasn't able to set up the camera correctly. And then let's grab the flashlight. And then now we go over here, this side. Now the passenger side goes over the transmission to here, and then to the alternator up there. Okay, lastly, there's the alternator. We got it plugged in already. And then there's this. This is the end of the harness. This is this plug right here. And this plugs into the compressor. So let's do that real quick. There we go. Here's the direct replacement for the catalytic converter. That's what we're gonna put next. And then I didn't even notice, but control arms were shot. So he had bought those two and just give them to me. He also added 2 motor mounts. I think those are motor mounts. I haven't looked into them, but they kind of look like motor mounts. The control arms and replacement catalytic converter. So let's install this catalytic converter. Okay, I'm gonna use the tailgate here as a workbench real quick, but the upstream O2 sensor, the DY835. Just purchased these. I was able to find them at O'Reilly's. I think you can get them cheaper. They're about altogether. I think it's cheaper about for about $30 online. And but you will have to wait. And I just wanted them today. And O'Reilly's had them on stock. So, but yeah, upstream DY835. I'm gonna go here, and then downstream is the DY1401. So I'm gonna install. I'll start with this one real quick. Okay, so under here, this is where they cut the rear of the catalytic converter, and then up here, this is the front. Luckily, they didn't touch the plugs for the O2 sensors, so this one is good. Same with this one over here. So we won't have to deal with that end. They just cut the cables that go to the O2 sensors. And then up here, they broke the base or the bracket that goes, it's kind of like a clip like this. They broke it up here, and they broke it towards the gray connector portion up there. This shouldn't be too bad. There's the 2 nuts we just gotta take off to take the flange off, and then same down over here. And this thing comes off, and then we just have to bolt on the new one. Okay, the harness is all the way installed. The only thing left to do is to clean this battery tray, and then I gotta drill out the bolt right here because I think it seized up and it broke off. Now the owner was kind enough to go to the junkyard and got me a replacement. Okay, well at this point I give up. I got something for that. I just can't find it right now. But basically it's like a washer type thing that I could slide in here, and then it will be I could screw in the bolt for the battery holder. I'm gonna look for it, and then when I find it, I'll install it, and I'll show you that when I find it. But press there just a little bit. There we go. Now it's time for the battery. Okay, prime example of why you should never get rid of your stash. Any bolts or nuts or anything that you find, you should keep it. Because I was working here on my battery hold down, and this is the bolt that I think the previous owner got from the junkyard. Well, problem is that when you put it through, it's really short, and you don't have any thread left. So this is not gonna work. And this is what I was looking for earlier, that I could put on that base, but it's not gonna work. It's just gonna be a pain in the ass to put it on. I'll have to take the battery off and everything. So I just came up with this bolt here, and all this here is coming from my stash. Especially this one here is where I have all my washers, nuts, and bolts. Well, this one, it would fit nicely from the top here. It will fit nicely. Now I have this washer that will go on it, but I have plenty of thread on the bottom, and so I plan to either I'm gonna check right now to see if this is necessary. I don't think it's gonna be necessary because this knot is plenty wide. Yeah, I mean, just it's the same thread, so it will work. It will work perfectly. So I'm gonna do that real quick and see how it works. Okay, so got all my parts here. And here is the battery hold down. I'm gonna put it down here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put the washer. Put the washer. Put it down there. There we go. And now I just gotta reach and feel to see if this is gonna be necessary. No, it's not gonna be necessary. All right. Okay, I got my socket here, 10 millimeter, and let's see here. Fill the bolt slowly. All right, it catched. It's not rotating. Good. Okay, there we go. Okay, just to recap, we fixed the battery harness here. We installed the catalytic converter. We checked fluids. We checked suspension. There's a couple of things that I know, and you probably noticed, that we need to do. It started. It drives. There's no big issues that I noticed. Now, it did trigger a check engine light, and it's P2004, and the scanner says that it's stuck open. The P2004 or 2004
code, it says that it's the intake manifold runner valve or solenoid that is stuck open. It's right here, that valve right there. It's really simple to get. I already checked the vacuum hoses. They look fine. The connection also looks fine. There is a lot of rust around the valve, so that makes me think that the valve is the one that is faulty. I looked it up, OEM part. It's pretty cheap, but I'm not sure if it's available because a lot of parts for this particular model, or for the 2003 Ford Ranger, especially the 2.3 manual transmission, a lot of things have been discontinued. For instance, this battery harness, it's no longer. Nobody has it in stock, and it's discontinued. And there are a lot of places that have NOS that have them, but it's not for this particular model. It will be for either the 3.0 or the 4.0 or the 2.3 without AC. But this one does have AC, so that one, the harness will not work for me. Anyhow, guys, I think this is it for this video. Until then, I'll see you next time.